So you want to improve your memory. Are you tired of information going in one ear and out the other? Looking to get a passing grade on your next big test? You don't need to be born a savant with crazy abilities like photographic memory. Like any other skill out there, memory can be trained and cultivated as well. You will just need to discover the right strategies for memorization that work best for you. There are various mental exercises and techniques that can boost the retention of information in your brain. First is to understand your storage space, aka your brain. It is made up of 78% water and cannot function to its full capacity if not well rested or it is overused. I'm not going to go on about eating things like veggies, nuts, and fish, or tell you that physical activities increase your blood flow to the brain and promotes the growth of new neurons. Vitamins, antioxidants, minerals, blah blah blah. No! We are here to cram information and soak it up like a sponge! Although those things can help, you are here more so for the techniques and exercises. At the very least, make sure you get adequate rest and stay hydrated. Sleeping is a critical process in which the short-term memories are converted into long-term ones. Games can be a very powerful exercise for your brain. Crossword puzzles, chess, Sudoku, and even apps that you download on your phone can be entertaining ways to improve your cognitive functions and memory. Even video games are included. Take Pokemon, for example. I still remember all 151 original Pokemon to this day. It was because of the repetitious playing of that game that caused the information learned to gradually convert from short-term memory to long-term. Learning to solve a Rubik's Cube will challenge your brain and improve your critical thinking. Anytime you attempt to acquire a new skill, the neurons in your brain get stimulated and creates fresh connections and pathways. These connections strengthen over time, and electrical impulses can travel faster across them, helping you learn quickly. The stimulation can also activate dormant areas in your brain that might not be used in everyday life. Learning new skills alleviates boredom and removes the feeling of melancholy in your existence. Okay, now on to the good part. There are numerous techniques in improving your memory. I'll post some resources in the description if you want to take a more in-depth look at what can work best for you. These are the ones that stood out to me because I've used some of them while learning something new. The Feynman technique is a method in which you learn something and teach it to someone else in your own words. By rephrasing what you learned to someone else, you analyze that information and reformat it into something that you can understand. This solidifies that knowledge and helps it embed into your memories. The other aspect of the Feynman technique is social interaction. Memories created when in a social environment tend to have a longer-lasting impact. Acronyms, rhymes, and visualization techniques are strong mnemonic devices many use to aid in remembering large batches of information. For example, to remember the order of our solar system, you can use an acronym in the style of a sentence. My very educated mother just served us nachos. Acronyms can be used to create an image as well. Fat Tom is an acronym that helps chefs in the food industry remember the 6 elements associated with bacterial growth and assist in the prevention of any sickness: food, acidity, temperature, time, oxygen, moisture. There is a popular rhyme that many use to remember spelling: I before E, except after C. Utilizing mnemonics is a simple but effective way for you to store data. When a ton of information is presented in front of you, it can be intimidating. A good strategy to reduce that intimidation is to break down that information into smaller chunks. Like, instead of memorizing a phone number in its entirety, focus on the 3-digit area code, 3-digit central office code, and 4-digit line number. Remembering the smaller puzzle pieces will help when trying to form the bigger picture. Do you know where the island of Sardinia is located? It is an island off the coast of Italy. Many things come to mind when Italy is presented. One of those things is an Italian pizza. When you think of pizza, what are some toppings that can go on top? Pepperoni, cheese, and sardines. Sardines sound very similar to Sardinia. By connecting the thought of a sardine pizza to the island of Sardinia off the coast of Italy, you are using associative memory as a trigger to help recall that information. As humans, we rely on our senses to take in information. We associate memories like the smell of popcorn in a movie theater, the feeling of sand between our toes as the cold waves crash into our legs, the roaring thump of the speakers at your very first concert, a warm home-cooked meal after a long journey, or the feeling of your heart jumping out of your chest when you first laid eyes on your crush. Out of those 5 senses, we can utilize visualization to create vivid images associated with the information you want to remember. The more detailed and unusual the image, the stronger it will stick to your memory. When you acquire new information, it is highly beneficial for you to review and refresh that information over spaced intervals. This study technique is called spaced repetition. Essentially, learn something and give your brain time to process it. Then return to it later to test that memory. There is a gradual increase in the intervals as you become more acquainted with that information. In the beginning, you would space your review time an hour after you learn it. Then 4 hours later, review it again. Your ability to recall information increases dramatically with this method if you can remain consistent, starting off on average with recalling 40% in the first day to a staggering 80% by the third day. Using tools like flashcards are very convenient and efficient if you do not wish to rewrite your notes or reread the information. To effectively managing your time if you have multiple tests is to use the 2 to 3 5 7 method. This method states that you plan backwards from your exam date. Starting from the day of the test, you would plan a review session the day before. Then plan another review session 2 days before that one. Count 3 days from that and plot another session. Then 5 days. And finally 7 days. Using this method applies spaced repetition and assists you in planning for tests. Try to challenge yourself without referring to notes on occasions. There are countless methods for improving memory. Take these resources and discover the best way for you to grow intellectually.
If you want to improve your mind and satisfy your hunger for knowledge, evolve your brain by liking and subscribing. Let's advance our intelligence together. I'll see you next time.